Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. He's Edward. Hey. Now's the time when we talk about a specific player. So, with Joey Barton's recently calling him a dud, and since so many Everton fans are slating him and writing him off, we need to talk about Klaassen.
Yeah, we do.
Edward, what do you think Klaassen's best position?
Centre mid. None of these wide positions, centre mid.
Like, what type of centre mid?
Like a box to box, I'd say. A bit like a Gerry, but not as defensive, I think.
Yeah, I think the player whose game I see is most similar to his is Tom Davies.
Yeah, Tom Davies kind of character.
I think we both agree that Klaassen probably shouldn't be starting in the league at the moment because he's still adapting. But considering his best position and considering the formations that we're kind of working with, who should be starting over him?
Sigurdsson, Rooney, Barkley when fit, Davies, anyone with experience that has quality with the ball. See, it's understandable. Straight away you can see why we paid all the money for him, because he's a good player. You can tell straight away. I mean, he's even got a couple of assists in games, so he does know where to put the ball. It's just his problem of being able to deal physically with the play of the league. So, yeah, I'd probably say anyone with experience, really, and the physicality to be able to put up with all the players.
See, I think a lot of this has to do with what formation we're playing.
Yeah.
You know, if we're playing a 4-4-2, you know, I don't think he's going to be playing the same type of position that Schneiderlin or Gay would be playing, you know, as that kind of defensive mid, kind of covering the defense. I don't really see him playing that.
No.
I see him playing the same role that he would be playing like when he played for Ajax, you know, right in front of that. More of a, you know, more of an offensive center mid, somebody who is, like you said, going back to box, more of a number 8? Is that what we're talking about here?
Something like that.
Thing is, I don't see Rooney as playing that kind of position. I think Sigurdsson could play that role, and I think Tom Davies could play that role. But I don't. It's funny, like, and you know what, Ross could possibly play that role, but I think
Barkley's always seen as more attacking.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like he's just somebody who's not really that much into the defending aspect of the game.
No.
You just don't really see him going in for like crunching tackles and that kind of thing. Let's talk about what Klaassen actually does well.
Some of this one-touch football stuff he does is good. He makes the pass right. He does that right. Like I said, he makes the passes. He's intelligent. You can see he is a smart guy, and the Ajax fans do rate him really highly. He's got the talent, but like I said, it's physicality that's his issue. I mean, you look at the way Depay, when he left, I think it was like PSV or something like that, he was a complete hit with them. Left, went to United and complete stop. But that's because he wasn't adapted and not as good. Whether Klaassen will do the same thing is going to highly depend on how he's able to physically adapt, and if he is ready to adapt, in a sense, if he's ready to put that extra effort in to try and make himself successful, which I think he is. I think he's that kind of player. He's going to be smart personality as well.
I mean, I agree with all of that. I see him as I see his 1 and 2 touch play as being immaculate. His vision is really good. He always knows where everybody is. The biggest problem that I see for him is he doesn't hold on to the ball ever. He never carries the ball into space, and so he's limited in his options. He usually plays the ball where he's facing, or plays it really quickly to someone close by. Now that does kind of keep the ball ticking over. It does help our team's tempo. It does, but you don't see him pushing forward, and I think the reason is exactly what you're describing, the physicality. I think if he did start doing that, he would be bumped off the ball really quickly. I don't think he possesses the ball really well in the Premier League yet. I don't think he's there yet. Will he one day? Maybe, but I don't know. I'd be really curious to see him in a 4-4-2 right in front of a Gay or a Schneiderlin or a Besic, someone just to give him more room to where he really doesn't have that extra option to play one touch with, and to kind of force him to kind of move forward, because that's the system he's used to. You know? And that leads to the next question. Is this a case of the system not fitting the player? Or is this a case of needing to adjust to a new league, plain and simple, or is it a case of both, which is what I probably feel?
Yeah, both. Both, I'd say.
I see quality in the guy. I really do. I think you don't want to lose a player who has that good a vision. I think he sees the field. He knows what's behind him. He's constantly aware. I think he's smart. I think getting used to people bumping you off the ball, getting used to being able to be more physical, I think that can be acquired. I think that vision is hard to acquire. I think that football brain is hard to acquire. You know? And think about it, though. How many Dutch players have come into the Premier League and immediately been impactful? Thinking about this, how quick did Bergkamp adjust to the league? And then if you go beyond the borders of Dutch players coming to the league, then you think about other players who ended up being iconic that took a while to kind of get into the system too. I think we should be patient. I don't want to sit there and flatly say that, hey, Joey Barton calling him a dud is wrong because he's a professional footballer and I'm not, and he's going to have a lot more intelligence about football than I would. But I just don't agree. I don't think it's fair to call him a dud yet because I don't think he's got his shot yet. I think I want to see how hard he works to get back and to get up to speed.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I think he can be a good player. It's just we need to give him a bit of time to get used to it.
I think you and I, so in summation, you and I both agree we don't think he's a dud. We think it's a little bit unfair for supporters to be slating him immediately, and that he needs to, that there is some quality there, and he just needs time. To be totally fair to those slating him, his performances have not been of the quality that Everton need at the moment, but there are some serious strengths to his game that Everton can end up using moving forward. That's it for We Need to Talk About Klaassen. If you're digging the content, subscribe. It would help. We need the subscriptions. It makes us feel terrific. When you do that, click the little bell on there and you'll get notifications so you'll know when we make videos. Also make sure you comment, like. The comments really help. Give us something to talk about, all right? Vent your frustrations about the season. Edward, do you want to plug your channel?
Yeah. Check it out. Jeremy James, FIFA, Everton, everything like that. New Road to Glory coming soon as well, so make sure to check it out. Subscribe. Nearly at 200, if you could, please.
All right, so that's it for We Need to Talk About Klaassen. We'll be back with another episode soon. Bye.
Adios.